Africans are still selling Africans into slavery in 2026. Yes. Like the title of this video said, right? Africans were willing participants of the transatlantic slave trade. Willing participants. We participated willingly. You know, I see a lot of Pan-Africans. You know, I don't know if being Pan-African mean you cannot say the truth, you know, or you cannot criticize your people. But for me, being a Pan-African means being able to say the truth, no matter how painful or how hurtful it is. So I'm saying this now categorically. Africans, we were willing participants in the slave trade. We, Africans, we are just as evil as the Europeans. No difference. Yes, Europeans were evil for the slave trade. We Africans too were evil too for the slave trade. Now, if you are doubting what I'm saying, I'll go into context. But if you are doubting that Africans sold other Africans into slavery, look at Africa today. Look at our continent today. We are still selling each other out. I'll use Nigeria, my country, for instance. Nigerian leaders are actively selling Nigerian people. What is happening now? What's happening now and the slave trade then? Just that there's no chains and whips anymore. No padlock in the mouth anymore. But look at what so-called African leaders today are doing to their citizens. Brother, they are actively selling us out. They are actively selling black people out. You see, the leader of a country would sell out his people to European companies. Sell them out. I'm from the Niger Delta region of Nigeria where there's so much oil and gas. And I know that the companies operating there are evil, you know, but they can only carry out that evil with the participation of other Africans, other black people in those communities. Yes. So black people, we see black people selling each other out is easy. It's not even difficult for us. Now, going back to the slave trade, to the history of the slave trade, the narrative is that Caucasians came and then they made Africans start fighting each other and start selling each other out. That's not true. Before the Caucasians came, there was no kumbaya singing African society whereby all African tribes lived in peace. All African tribes don't live in peace. There was already internal conflict. Before the first ships from Europe landed the shores of Africa, we already had conflict with ourselves already. We're already fighting each other. Tribes were already fighting each other. We're already capturing each other and selling each other for slave trade between each other. Note, even before the Caucasians came, the trans-Saharan slave trade was already happening, where Africans were sold to the Middle East and North Africa through the Saharan desert. And Africans from Sub-Saharan Africa were already taken and sold already. And just for the record, that was even way more brutal than what the Europeans did. What the Arabs did was way more brutal than what the Europeans did. But that's a topic for another day. Yeah? So before the first white ship came, we already had conflict. We didn't like each other. We were already fighting and killing each other. So when the Caucasians came and saw the situation, they're like, okay. Because already in the nature of the Caucasians, I noticed that they can exploit situations. When they see a situation, they exploit it. That's what they do best. So they saw that, okay, these people are already killing and fighting each other already. What do? We need slaves. So what did they do? They exploited the existing conflicts. They'll go to Group A and give Group A weapons, and then Group A will go and fight Group B that are already long-time enemies. Yeah? Kill them, you know, take them for slavery and then sell them out for the white people. So, in as much as the Caucasians, the Europeans were very evil in the slave trade, let us not downplay the evilness of our own kind, of us black people too. Especially a lot of African Americans, you know, they are really, really uninformed about what's happening on the continent. So I see a lot of them run around with narratives. But me living in the continent right now, with things that I see, I know. I'm telling you that in 2026, like this, if they give people chance, if the slave trade has not stopped, Africans will keep selling each other. They won't think that they should be able to stop it. Yes. And look at the way African leaders are treating African people. Even not just leaders, even regular Africans, maybe who just have a small level of, should I say, comfort or wealth. See how they treat other Africans. We are actively selling each other out. And I'm going to say something before I end this video. Yeah. I'm not saying this to justify the slave trade. No. I'm not saying this to exonerate white people for what they did. No. I'm only saying that the blame should be spread equally, because even in 2026, even though the Caucasians have stopped officially selling slaves, black people are still selling each other into slavery. Black people, black so-called black leaders, our leaders in Nigeria, our political class in Nigeria are actively selling the people into slavery. Because what they're doing to the economy of Nigeria today is not different from slavery. They're pushing millions and millions of people into poverty day by day, gathering wealth and just leaving the place in a mess. So, like I was saying, I'm not exonerating white people. I'm just only stating the fact that black people were active participants. They are as guilty as the Caucasians are involved in this.